Hello, how are you guys doing? Kind of a offbeat stream for me and not something that a lot of people will like, but I don't care. I'm gonna watch this anyway, and I figured, hey, here's an opportunity for me to content and people could watch it, and I would like to. I malformed the link on Twitter, did I? Oh, jeez, I did, didn't I? Yeah, it's all like one awful. Okay, hold up. Delete that tweet, retry. So for those of you that don't do Warhammer, this is sort of like the Treehouse thing. Nintendo Treehouse. But for Warhammer stuff, they obviously there we go. That tweet's a bit better. I didn't get the GIF in there, but Ray Duran, thank you for the 15 months of support. So they normally do this convention in person at in England somewhere. Obviously, I can't go to that, and I wouldn't go to that because I don't care. It just shows up online 5 seconds later anyway. But this year, because of COVID, it's online. So let's talk about the stuff that came out this weekend and stuff that I know has already existed and my predictions for what's going to be there today. Speaking as an orc player who doesn't care about other things. So let's start off by saying, like, I only play 40k. I don't play Sigmar. I don't play any of the other ones. I play a bit of Kill Team, but it's been a minute. I started with Kill Team. I started with the Kill Team, and I was like, I'll just collect a couple minis. And then I've got, like, fucking, like, thousands of points of boys and orcs and stuff. Ugh, my nose. Anyway. So, let me switch the camera region over. I figured I'd face cam for this because face cams are popular. All right, so let's look at this video that they put out a little while ago. Beast Snaga Orcs. This capture region sucks.
Right, boys, listen up. In the beginning, Gork and Mork needed some fighty lads.
I'll fix the
So
screen.
they
Just give me a sec.
did some stuff, and their orcs appeared. Some of them were runts, but there was lots of boys too. Some of them were big. And
So
some
we
of
got
them were
Ludas,
mean.
we got
It
Knobs.
was all mean and green. Except the red ones. And the biggest and greenest get around is the big boss.
And so that's
And we's gotta
some new
listen
war
to him,
boss with a
'cause he's
Gretchen
taking
gunning.
us on
Big
the
chopper.
grunt. Wow.
Green region's all sorts of jacks, and I can't find
But all
which
the best
green region this
fighting
is.
We's gonna use all the shiny new
Killer
trucks and
cans,
shooters
boys,
to
battle
fuck
wagon,
done.
more boys. Alright, I'm gonna pause it real quick and figure out where is this screen region at. There it is. Okay, let me move the capture over just slightly. Rev's a nerd. Yeah, my wife was like, nerd! You're excited about that, nerd! And I'm like, alright, fine. Ugh. Alright. Anyway. There we go. Slightly better capture region. Alright, cool.
We don't
So
need that junk. Shut up, you git.
I'm a Death Skulls player. I think everyone knows that who
We'll see.
follows Warhammer stuff.
The other lads have their shinies and their
So we got the
no-ops,
Squig Riders, which have
but they
been
don't know how to
announced
use
and
them
shown
proper.
off.
Not like us.
And then we got this, which I thought was going to be like a, I don't know, mech boy or something. But they released it the other day in a community article. Like literally this weekend, they're like, yeah, we're going to do the 40k stuff on Tuesday. Anyway, here's some 40k stuff. It's like, what the fuck? I wasn't ready for that shit. So article's good. It's what do they call it? A pain boss, which is sort of a combination of a war boss and a pain boy. So he probably has a 6-up feel no pain aura. They said his mechanical legs that he's replaced his legs with make him faster. I would assume that makes him like speed 6 or 7, because a normal pain boy is going to be like speed 5. And then he's replaced his power claw with something a little bit more accurate, which probably means it doesn't have the -1 to hit, but it's also weaker. So I'm betting that it's I'm betting that he still has weapon skill 3. 2 maybe, but I'm going to bet 3 just to make the war boss still real good. So move 6 or 7. Weapon skill 3. I'm going to go with that. Ballistic skill 5, though he doesn't have a gun because orc. Strength, I want to go with 5. Toughness 4. I think a regular Pain Boy has a 4-up save. It never comes up. Because if he's in that he's going to die anyway. With the 6-up Feel No Pain aura and probably Here We Go. I don't know how they're going to change that with the stuff with core and all that. It doesn't seem like we really have buffs in the same way that other codexes do. The buffs that other codexes have are like Chapter Master rerolls, where it's like, you get to reroll everything. And it's like, no. Like, the closest you've got is probably like a Pain Boy, where it's like, units near him get a 6-up Feel No Pain. But Apothecaries for Space Marines already do that. And that didn't change. So I assume that's going to stay the same. Are orcs getting a new codex? They should. Admech is next, but with COVID, everything got slowed down. So I would assume that we're going to get it soon. Probably next week. It could revive models. I would imagine not, though. That would be pretty spicy if they did that. As far as other things, probably doesn't have any special weapons aside from the claw. He's got his Grot Orderly. I don't care for this model too much. I only just realized that that's a wheel and not legs. He looks a little too spindly. It probably works like a Grot Oiler, where once per game he can heal an extra wound. Cool. Or make sure that the roll doesn't fuck up. It's fine. What else do we got? I think that's gonna be it for what he does. And honestly, I'm really looking forward to seeing something to do with anything with Mad Dog Grotsnick's what are they called? Looted Boys. The zombie thing that he's doing. He's like resurrecting dead orcs and making weird abominations. Like, I'm building that into my fluff. And so when I see this guy, I'm like, yeah, this could be my new Pain Boy who does that. That's cool. All right, I'm down with that. That's a cool looking model. He's faster, so he keeps up the boys better. You give him Follow Me Lads or something. That sounds fine. So anyway, back to the video. Because I think there's a couple more things. So we've seen the Beast Riders. I don't have that up because I just don't care about them. You know, I do not do snake bites. I started in 8th edition where snake bites sucked. You can have a 6-up Feel No Pain or a 6-up Invuln, and a 6-up Feel No Pain is worse than a 6-up Invuln, just objectively, in most metas. So, and just, I don't know. I like the techno works. I like the idea that I've got, like, you know, I've got my little kill tank here, and he's a big dude. He's a big lad, and he's got, like, guns, and it's stupid, and it's ramshackle. It's great. I love that. I don't like the Squig Riders. It's not my aesthetic. Will I run them? If they ended up being like super OP or something, then sure. I would assume they're going to be pushing all the stuff they're going to talk about today super hard. So their stats are going to be really aggressive.
It's got our stickers and our squigs.
More boys. We got, so this is some sort of like squig-based battle wagon. And it looks like it's got a cannon. I assume that we're going to see this today. I think this is one of the things that we see today, is this thing, whatever the fuck it is.
With hands and teeth and all that fancy truck gubbins. That's why.
Alright, and then here we got a war boss, and I bet we see him as well. He's got a Get, Find, and Squig, which you can find on flash kits. It's just +1 to hit with the captain. So I assume that he has a ballistic skill of a 4-up. Otherwise, probably fairly similar to a war boss, but is loaded out with a big choppa and not a power claw, some sort of thing like that.
In any clan we're in.
It says that, but like, how does like, oh, we don't do technology fit with my techno-heavy Death Skulls guys? I don't know. I like my Mad Max lads, you know? Oh, blow my nose again. So after seeing the Pain Boss, I think I'm probably going to still be about it. I'm still going to be there for it. I'm still probably going to get these models. But I think what's going to happen is if you look at the GW page, let's look at Start Collecting real quick. Just Start Collecting, not Combat Patrols. If you look for the Orc one, yesterday or the day before, yeah, no longer available online. Start Collecting Orcs, no longer available online. And the other ones that are like that are the Start Collecting Space Marines, which has been replaced and removed, and the Start Collecting Drakari, which also has been replaced and removed for the Combat Patrol boxes, which are more expensive but are better value. So, my bet is that we're getting a new Combat Patrol Orcs box that is going to have quite a few of the new units. It's going to have the new Beast Snaga boys, which are like the Primaris boys. And something big, so maybe that big whatever that is that they're pushing there. Because that's usually how they work. Because like if you look at like excluding like the Drakari box, it's like AHQ, your troop choices, and then some sort of big fancy thing. Unless if it's got some cool elite unit in it instead, like the Drakari or the Death Guard box kind of sucks. Presentations start in about 4 minutes, so I'm just giving my predictions on what I think is going to be there. Can we see the booty orcs one more time? Sure. Let's see. So the big thing is probably going to be whatever that battle wagon thing was. The HQ is probably going to be the new war boss. Maybe the Pain Boss. I'm going to say it's the new war boss because I think you definitely want to have a war boss in your list. Like I think that just generally fluff wise makes the most sense. And honestly, the boys models they're showing their age. I'm a little upset by this because I have 60 boys, but you know it's not quite as bad as some people. Like look at that dump truck ass. What is that? They just don't look quite as good as the newer models. If you compare them to like any Primaris model, they look old. They don't look bad. They still look better in a lot of stuff like Reaper Mini stuff. But yeah, so that's my prediction. It's gonna be the War Boss, the Snag Boys as the troop choice. They might throw in some some I don't know, some sort of elite choice, but I think it's not going to be an elite choice. I think it's going to be something big like that battle wagon thing that's not a battle wagon that has squigs. Maybe squig riders? Maybe squig riders. I think it's going to be the stuff in that Warhammer, this preview here. I think it's going to be exactly this stuff. Whoops. Can I get it so it shows all of it all at once? I think it's going to be this. I think this is going to be the box, probably. But not him. Yeah, boys, the new boys, the Squig Riders, that thing, and the War Boss. I think that's going to be it. Is this the Nintendo Direct? Basically, they've turned it into a Nintendo Direct because, yeah. All right. Oh, they're live now. Oh, okay. Starting soon. Is this just going to be orcs? My hope is it is. It's got an orc banner in the background there. But there could also be some Sororitas stuff. So my bet is that it's going to be orcs, and I just want it to be orcs. I think is what I want. There's going to be some Space Marine crap. You know there is. Like they're getting a full range refresh. But it's only 40k days today, so, and we're going to do this again on Thursday. I don't particularly care if this is popular or not. I'm just having a good time talking about my hobby. The AdMech Codex, I don't think is going to be talked about today because I think it was supposed to be out prior to Warhammer Fest in the first place. And the reason I believe that is they straight up said, hey, we can't get it out there in time. So if it's not my boys, if it's not orcs, oh shit.
Hello everybody and welcome.
I should mention to anyone who hasn't seen these before,
my good friend and colleague Eddie Eccles.
they drag this shit out way longer than they need to. But it'll be like an hour of them talking about stuff.
Day 2. Eddie, what's on the doors for today?
Well, today's theme, Adam, is Warhammer 40,000. Yesterday we saw a lot of cool stuff coming for Warhammer Age of Sigmar, but we know we've got loads of fans of all different corners of the Warhammer hobby. So today is one of the days this week where we're looking at some cool stuff coming up for the grim darkness of the far future.
And as I understand it, the Dark Millennium actually is getting 2 different days devoted to it throughout this week. Is that right?
Definitely is. It definitely is. So we've got some new stuff to tell you today, which is all very cool, and we hope you enjoy it. And we've also got some more stuff coming on Friday. And also, if you are a Warhammer 40,000 fan, well worth tuning in tomorrow. We'll be looking at some new stuff coming from Black Library, because there might be some stories and some things that are based in the 41st millennium as well.
I want to get
updates
come as a shock
on, to no one.
Yeah, I mean, from my
Eisenhorn,
point of view, I've got my sticky fingers in all the various bits of
That's the
Warhammer.
only thing I really care
I'm excited about
as far
every day,
as Black Library.
but I think tomorrow's going to be quite cool as well. Right, so the first thing to do, now we've introduced ourselves, I suppose, is to welcome you all properly. The thousands of people who have flooded into the chat. Let me just have a look at window. So far, 21,000.
Also, they don't allow you to talk in the chat.
Who have joined us from all
unless
sorts
if
of
you
places
pay,
around the
which
world.
is like the most
Quite frankly,
GW shit. I'm
as
sorry,
we're warming up for
G-dubs,
these
but
previews
come on
is ask you
now.
where you're from.
Like the fucking
it's a good time of
combat
day
box.
for,
This
our friends,
this ancient
over in
fucking
North
box
America,
is
for example.
$36.
So hit us.
Fuck
Tell us
off.
where in the world you're from.
Fuck
Somebody from the Yukon.
off.
That might be the first time I've ever seen that in the chat. We've got Netherlands, Toronto, Texas, Germany, Denmark, Colombia.
And then the combat patrol box.
Oh my
140.
Word.
Come on,
21,000
bro.
people to tell you where they're from.
And then they're
The
like,
chat
oh
has
yeah,
gone
you have
wild.
to
Wherever
subscribe
you
in
are.
order
People
to
just love
chat.
shouting out where they're from, Adam.
But it's great, isn't it? I mean, I imagine that's what, like, you know, war cries in the 41st millennium are like, when you got massive battles of guardsmen all arrayed and they're all just screaming their homeworld and hoping not to die.
That's what Abaddon does before he launches this big crusade, is to be like, right, everyone, thanks for coming to the Black Crusade. Where are you all from? And everyone just screams, have a good time.
Somebody has just posted Easter Island. If we have somebody tuning in from Easter Island, that has legit made my day. Super welcome to you. Welcome.
Shut up! Get to the boys!
So, let me tell you a little bit about how this is going to work. Basically, we've got some cool videos lined up. We're going to show them to you, and then we're going to talk about all the awesome stuff. We've also got an interview lined up for a little bit later in the show with the mega boss of the Warhammer 40,000 team in our Warhammer studio, none other than Stu Black. So we've got a pretty
I don't
nice
know who that is.
slate of things to show and tell with you today. If you can see the chat, it's flying along at an insane pace. Thank you to our moderators who've joined us to help keep things flowing in a nice way. If you want to comment, please do. You need to be a subscriber because otherwise it would be truly bananas. You can subscribe either using an Amazon Prime subscription if you have an Amazon Prime account, or you can subscribe using like the regular way. There's a subscribe button somewhere up on the screen.
I'm trying to
just
like
sit
get
back
the
and enjoy the
audio
ride
levels
with,
right.
So many people in the chat.
Does
It's
it
a
need
very
to be
good chance that questions
quieter
will be asked.
or?
I will, as the event rolls on, try and pick out some of the questions and answer them, maybe to clarify.
Which shops
things,
have you seen
but it's going
overpricing
so
40K
fast, I
stuff?
make no
It's
shame
always
promises.
at like the 40, like the GW.
Before we dive into
price. I don't
this,
pay more than what
Warhammer
GW
40,000
has.
day, then Adam,
I'll
probably
pay
worth a
less.
quick recap on
I do that
what
all the
we've seen
time.
so far yesterday.
That is fair.
On the Age of Sigmar day. So for those of you who didn't tune in yesterday, who are Age of Sigmar fans, you can go and rewatch the feeds on.
We're here for
Twitch page and
fucking
also on
40K,
the
my dude.
website, where we saw a new god for destruction, and the Lord of Earthquakes, the Doom of Empires, Kragnos, and the final book of the Broken Realms series, which is very exciting. We also
If
saw
we
a
wanted
whole
to
bucket
know
load of
that
new
shit, we'd
Soulblight
fucking go
Grave Lords.
watch
So if you like
that.
vampires of any shape, almost any shape, they are available to you.
Yeah. What was the thing that stole the show for you yesterday?
We don't care about
It's all very
yesterday.
exciting. I like
We
Paragon
would have,
War a lot,
if
but I
we
do
cared
also
about it, we
seem
would have
like,
been there.
I think everything we've seen so far for the Soulblight Grave Lords, I've really liked it. All the kind of weird, super creepy, strange stuff I like a lot. I know the vampire.
No, 40K is a
the,
majority of their
Hungarian
sales.
Lords has definitely divided the room a little bit. Some people, I think, absolutely love that model for the kind of weird, creepy, otherworldly thing, and some people are somewhat creeped out by it, but I think it's just
Don't
one of-
care
I think
about
it's one of the
AOS.
coolest
No
models,
shit.
of recent years.
No shit.
Yeah, I think
Sam
that's a fair
Risson?
observation. For my money, I think it's pretty hard to go past Radikar the Beast. Might be my favourite Warhammer model right now.
But you are very easily inspired, Adam. So we might see something today that's even cooler.
Well, there is one particular thing today which has
Get to it!
got my eye. Right, Raf, who is of course the third man in the broadcast team, the power behind the throne, our tech adept supreme, is telling me that it is time for our first video. So we'll go
Okay,
over to
cool.
this.
Something to actually give a shit about. Sounds like voice.
Paragon
Yeah!
Masters,
Wait.
worlds of mankind,
It's Plague Marines.
writhing beneath thy touch. The Iron Planet stands
It's
alone,
Plague Marines.
and it too shall rust.
Okay.
My victory is nigh. For the Corpse Emperor rallies his finest, and they will be found.
This is announcing, what is it?
All
Age of
shall
Rust or whatever,
become
the,
rot and despair. Decay comes.
It's
for
Admech, Sisters, and Death Guard? Like the Warzone Charadon.
when the night
They already told us that was going to be the combo, right?
and the shadows unfurl.
So whoever in chat was looking for, okay, and you got some Imperial Knights. Bellicor being fucking massive. Cool. Sure. It's not my codexes, I don't care. Sure.
Well, there we have it. That was Charadon Act 2. Eddie, give us the lowdown.
So this is Charadon Act 2.
Hey, whoever wanted
Fire.
AdMech
Those of
shit.
you who've been following the unfolding narrative of Warhammer 40,000 will know that the Book of Rust has been with us for a few months now and kicks off the campaign, which is primarily between the
It broke
forces of the Death
Drukhari,
Guard and the forces of
is
the
what it
Emperor's
did.
Mechanicus
That's what that
and the
fucking
planets
did.
of Metallica, but it is far bigger than that. This is a war zone that sprawls across multiple planets, and effectively the Terminus Est, which is a ship of legend in Warhammer 40,000, commanded by Typhus, formerly Typhon of the Death Guard, has invaded the sector and is basically...
What's a codex? So you've got your... I'm going to turn this down because I don't give a shit. You've got the core rulebook, which I keep right next to me. You know, some people keep the Bible next to them. I keep my Warhammer codex. This is the core rules. This is how you play Warhammer. And that just like, that's how you move. That's how you do that kind of thing. And then you have to have your codex that's for, like, specifically army. So, like, you can't advance and charge. That's a rule in the game. But some armies can, because they have rules that break the base rules. The Drukhari Succubus is hilariously ineffective against my list. She misses all of her attacks, and if I get to Overwatch her, she dies. Because 30 shots hitting on 6 is strength 6, wounding on 2 is going to invuln. You will lose that Succubus 100% of the time. It's really funny, and they don't kill me most of the time, so whatever. I cannot beat Drukhari because I can't out-obsec them, and I'm not faster than them. But, you know. God, he's fucking massive. I didn't realize Bellicor was that big. Holy shit. That's a lad there. Holy fuck, look at him. Could I put it on full screen? I could, yeah, let me do that.
You'll know that he is kind of a top tier level character. He can go toe to toe with things like knights and primarchs and greater demons and all the kind of big hitters.
It would be cool if we had stats for him, G-dubs.
More than just having the rules for that model, which you can certainly add into all sorts of different Chaos armies, he also brings with him a brand new way of playing a Chaos force. So you can have a Legion of Shadow, which basically means that you can combine Chaos Demons with Chaos Space Marines and put them all together under the kind of Dark Lord Bellicor.
Okay.
And kind of have abilities and synergies across both of those different factions. So if you've got a combined Chaos Army, or you've just got loads of Chaos models you've collected over the years, and you're looking for a big, cool model to lead them, you can put them all in one big army under Be'lakor. It comes with things like new Warlord traits, you've got new psychic powers, you've got new stratagems that you can use specifically with this new faction, which is very cool if you've got a Chaos Army.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've got quite a lot of demons myself. And I've got a few Chaos Space Marines.
These are Chaos Terminators. Then you've got a couple Armigers in the back, few Titans, some Knights, and then Be'lakor.
That is true. Yes, all of those get covered. And I think
like, I'm not gonna try and get him, and then you got a Helldrake in the back. I love the Helldrake. It's a stupid model. Fucking Mecha Dragon.
The forces of Metallica, and those are covered. Some of the extra rules for those are covered in the first book, but as tends to happen in Warhammer 40,000, when a war zone kicks off, more factions kind of enter the battle as well. So Be'lakor is taking advantage of the invasion of Metallica to basically make a play against the Knights of House Raven, which you can see on the screen there, and he's effectively trying to set their homeworld ablaze while they're distracted battling against the Death Guard invasion. And at the same time, you've got the forces of the Adeptus Sororitas.
No, I don't play much Apex anymore. So those are word bearers, yeah. Red and silver.
Force not kind of content with sitting back and protecting.
And you got a dead Primaris Lieutenant, because that's GW's favorite meme.
Offensive Sisters forces is sent to reinforce the planets nearby. So you've got this kind of Legion of Shadow and this Legion of kind of heroic angelic saviors of the Imperium. So there's a nice kind of juxtaposition there as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this book.
Good guys? Kind of cool, you want to call them heroic?
Yeah,
okay.
One of the things I'm most excited about actually is found within the narrative section of the book, and is simply that the Warhammer Studio have approached the background section in a new and different style.
No, the Chaos Terminators are old models. I own some of those. They're in a box behind me.
A new perspective and a new viewpoint. And I can't
They're actually that color too, but they don't have the word bearer symbol on them because I hate transfer sheets.
And different style.
Yeah, I think 40k lore is one of the things that makes the setting so compelling, right? Like the miniatures are beautiful, obviously, and you put them on the table, and it looks spectacular. But there is something really nice about understanding the motivation.
How long do 40k games take? It depends on the armies. The more models you have to move and decide what to do with, the longer it takes. But 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours would not be unreasonable. If you're running like a huge horde of boys, like 90 to 120, then it could be on upwards to like 3 or 4 hours. Okay, new things. This does not sound like this sounds very techy. So this is gonna be some ad mech or something.
God Emperor, hear
sisters,
my prayer, as our worlds burn and our faith is tested. Give us your strength. As our bodies break and our people falter,
are the shield ladies new?
Give us your fury. As our enemies fall and their works are cast down, give them your mercy. For
these ladies ain't green.
Shall not have mine.
So I guess that's a new model. I don't recognize it. She got announced the other day. I have no idea who the fuck that is on the left. The new Sisters tank. Cool. I gotta admit, I don't know Sisters shit at all. The shield ladies have to be new, because they're showing them off like they're cool. I have not heard of them before. That one's a fairly new model, if I recall correctly. Okay, so they're getting their Codex decks. Well, I'll just go fuck myself then. I mean, I'm happy for you.
Yes, there we are. An incredible reveal for Sisters of Battle. A few of those models we've already seen before through various bits and pieces, a previous preview and some of the Monday model reveals. But Eddie, a huge amount of stuff for the Adeptus Sororitas. Where do we even begin?
So I think this is absolutely.
I don't know
where we should
anything
begin.
about
So,
Sisters, I'll be honest.
Morven,
They're doing
she
really good right
is,
now. They have the
brand new
right
character we haven't seen
tools to
before,
deal
and
with
she
what's
is
going
an
on.
enormous
I feel like they're
force.
gonna have a
Not
bit of a
only
power
is this an
drop now with
absolutely
Drukhari
stunning
out
image, she'll
because
probably,
Drukhari have the same stat line
maybe
and
the best
everyone's
finisher
teching
in
against
Sisters of Battle range, and that
Drukhari,
says something, because they've got
and that
some
just
very
means that
nice
Sisters are
weapons.
gonna have a
This is
harder
total
time.
centerpiece kit, isn't it?
So
Yeah, but this is a High Lord of Terror. So, for those of you who are familiar with Warhammer 40,000 setting and lore, the High Lords of Terror.
oh, it's
pretty
High
much
Lord
the
of
most
Terra?
important
What?
People in the Imperium, they answer only to the Emperor, and he doesn't say a whole bunch. So she is incredibly important. She was put in position right at the start of the Indomitus Crusade.
Oh,
under
okay.
Guilliman's
That's why I've never heard of her.
and I think there was a sort of expectation from a lot of the other High Lords that she would be, new to the role.
This is like having like I don't
too
know
forceful.
a fucking
She is a sister of
senator
battle, she is,
or like the
sorority, so she
president
immediately
join
decided to set off on a
the
crusade
battle
across
in
the
a mech. It's
um,
like what the
and,
fuck is that?
Join the tip of the Indomitus Crusade and bring the purging fire of mankind to the heretics, the aliens, the mutants.
I think that these
the miniature
are
is phenomenal, and there's
robotic
lots of little
legs.
Nice touches on there to where some of the origins
think it's like a
of
baby
those
carrier
come from. It's
situation.
clearly, in the
New
same
Warhammer
style
40k
as
model,
some
Mitch
of the other,
McConnell. Yeah, that's what it's like.
suits,
It's like what the
some
fuck?
in the Paragon
Really?
War Suits that are
Okay.
kind of fully gothicked up. Lots of little nods and touches to other things. So that spear she's holding, that was given to her by the Adeptus Custodes to kind of show their respect for her and to give her a weapon worthy of a High Lord. She's got a heavy bolter.
I just got done listening to the Saga of the Beast, and so I don't have the highest opinion of the High Lords of Terra. They're all like jerking off on like how cool they are and whether or not they get a little bit extra money and not paying attention to whether or not they can actually help the Imperium not get destroyed. So, not the best at their jobs.
Top tier level character. So this is someone who can go toe to toe with like demon princes, almost on par with some of like the Primarch level characters and things. So she's gonna give
Oh, I hate that.
your Sisters Battle combat army an absolutely solid anchor central point, and
It looks like she's got a storm bolter or something, or some sort of heavy bolter,
Yeah, and I think
and a
it's worth
power
bearing in mind
sword,
as
but it's
the sort of
improved,
essentially head
and
of
then
all of
some
these battle,
rockets.
She has profound effects on sort of the units around her as well. She's sort of a force multiplier, isn't she?
It's like
Yeah,
I
so-
guess
so
it's like a
she's,
halberd.
at least as good, if not better, than something like a Space Marine Chapter Master. She's
Oh,
on par with something
no.
like Reboot Gulliman in terms of the abilities and synergies that she gives to nearby units.
Okay, so
but
she's gonna
absolutely no
be.
slouch either. She's very durable. That suit of armor there has got invulnerable saves and abilities to block mortal wounds, and one of my favorite abilities in all of 40k, which is the take your damage and half it. Which is
Oh.
a super cool ability that all of a sudden means that las cannons and plasma guns look a lot less scary when they're pointing at her. And for those of you who care a lot about the rules as well, she does have the right number of wounds, so she's got less wounds than she would need to be able to hide behind stuff. So she's very she's a very, very good character in terms of your army, and I think we're going to see her popping up a lot in armies.
Yeah, so it's a new cool model, and it's important, and it gives out all the buffs. It's gonna be in people's armies. You're gonna have to get used to seeing this bitch on every fucking
But if you're concerned about the health and
sisters
safety
list.
implications of sending the sister battle representative for the High Lords in
I don't think she's
Hamilton,
OP. She just gives out a whole bunch of buffs, and she's. I mean,
with her army
if you could target her, that's great. But she has the
I think
wounds, and
one of the things,
you know.
obviously, we don't see a lot of High Lords on the battlefield, and that's because obviously they are very they're very precious to the Imperium, but they are also in charge. So if she decides she wants to go on crusade, nobody's going to stop her because she's the boss, basically.
Yeah, I mean, we played a game before we went live, actually, which was, are there any other High Lords that you can currently use on the tabletop? Not including Guilliman, because he's not technically a High Lord.
Sort of, he
and,
is.
We think there's one, but if the chat can illuminate us, I'd be interested.
I
If
could
we
not
moved on
tell
while
you
I'm
if there's
right,
any. No.
So here we have Astrid, Thurger, and Agatha Dolan.
Okay,
what
Dolan.
can you tell us about them, Eddie?
Yeah, so we've seen Astrid before. She is a banner bearer. We saw her in one of the previews, but she's
Yeah.
always accompanied by Agatha.
See, I didn't know about Agatha.
They have a kind of sacred banner of the Adeptus Sororitas. They will kind of guard it with their lives.
She's
there's
a
lot of
banner
sacred
ancient.
things the
We
Adeptus
get
Sororitas
it.
carry around, but this banner is amongst the most sacred, and as you'd expect, it has synergies and abilities on your units, but also just a really beautiful pair of miniatures as well. Like the banner is cool. And,
They are
with
good-looking
the accompanying
miniatures.
Agatha
The
as well,
grandma's a
very
little
different kind of
weird,
miniature
but I
to
mean, if you're playing
hang around with
sisters,
her as
that's
well.
fine.
Yeah, Yeah, so Astrid is the Reliquant at Arms, and the banner that she's carrying, I saw, it's called the Auto Tapestry of the Emperor's Judgment, which is about as 40k of a name as you can possibly hope
Right.
for.
The auto
It is
tapestry?
not just
What?
a flag, it's sort of the best flag the Battle Sisters have to sort of bring to the party, and so you can expect some pretty great things from it.
So they're gonna be doing like Space Marine shit
I
now.
guess we could, yeah, there we go. So we've seen these previously. We don't
Right.
need to dwell on
Sister
them
baby
necessarily for too
carriers.
long. But
Similar
we
to
are
the Grey Knight
expecting,
baby
imminently
carriers.
Paragon War Suits, which are
It's a fancy flag that probably
essentially
gives
just a
OBSEC
fantastic
or like +1 to
combat,
hit or something like
addition
that.
to the Sisters of Battle, who lack the genetic enhancement of the Space Marines, for example, and so.
But yeah, her legs are in
an
here,
incredible war suit, which is
and then
gonna
she's
elevate them
in
to,
here,
well,
and she's got little
something
controls
approaching
to move the
stature of a
arms.
dreadnought.
And you now have obviously your glorious Golden High Lord to lead around these units. So if you wondered who was going to lead the charge, I think all of a sudden the look of that army and that little assault force starts to become.
I
Very
mean, it's
apparent.
neat.
You
It's a
have
cool looking
the,
model.
your
It's just
High
kind
Lord
of
and
silly,
glorious
but I mean, it's
gleaming golden
40k.
armor with golden spear, led
It looks better
by,
than the Grey Knight one.
leading
Yeah, it
and
looks a little
charging
less silly than
these,
the Grey Knight one.
intimidating looking war suits, and I think heavy bolters, heavy flamers, multi melters. They've clearly got a few options on them, and they're going to make a mess of most things, I think.
Yeah, absolutely, and they carry through all that sort of.
Oh, hey, it's another thing we've already seen.
Themes and the styles
Are
of
there any
the
MILFs in
Wars
Warhammer? If you want
in their
MILF
armor,
sisters or
it's
your...
like
I mean, we just looked at the grandma model. What are you talking about?
temples and cathedrals and
There you
such.
go.
So here
Gilf.
again, another thing that we've seen recently, but it's part of this same.
Or
wave
like
of
sis,
Sisters of Battle, is the
Slanesh
Predator,
models, if you want
a
MILFs.
battle
You
tank
got
for the
that
Sisters
too.
of Battle, I
Look,
believe.
it's a Predator, guys.
But, here we
Look, have you
it.
seen
That's
this Predator that we tried to sell you again?
really, with a significant
Any
main
dilfs?
cannon or main cannons, bolters to put the fear of the Emperor into almost any hand.
Mortarion.
Yeah, a Palatine there as well, coming with the same release. Though this miniature obviously first came out with the battle box earlier this year,
Right.
but hasn't been available separately. So it is on her way to lead. You can buy any number of them, and you can add in as many of these to your army as you like.
You could buy a bunch of them.
Dogmata. So she has an unusual place in the Sisters of Battle, and it's not something we've seen represented for them just yet. Eddie, what is a Dogmata?
So a Dogmata is effectively Adeptus Sororitas priest style character. So,
Oh, okay, so
they
on a
obviously
3-up
don't
you do
have
the
any
thing.
witches or
Sure.
psykers in their army, but one of the things that this character does, and some other characters can use as well, a new set of effectively a little bit
Litanies.
like the chants that a chaplain has. So
Right.
abilities that can kind of add a few more useful tools. And,
So instead of being a psyker,
synergize
you
with
have
some
your
of these in different ways. So a little bit like a chaplain or a Dark Apostle or something
Yeah.
would happen in a Space Marine or a Chaos Space Marine force. This model allows you to do not psychic stuff, but have abilities that can buff the units around them.
right.
Acts of faith, as it were. I love it. And
Oh.
these, which I think we saw properly for the first time in this video. Right, I've seen bits and pieces of them.
I
around
like the
official
idea of a
Sisters
shield
Battle
and a
revealed.
gun combo. I was thinking about doing that with my Mega Knobs, but a much meatier gun and a much meatier shield.
Have two different ways. of
Makari's
using them.
fine.
You can either go for halberds, which look very cool, which are ones you can check out on the Warhammer community website from a few weeks back. But the other option.
But I was
is to
thinking
go
like
for
a
whopping
Bulgrin
great
shield
Sororitas maces,
for my Mega
and
Knobs, but I'm
shields.
waiting
This
on
is
buying anything
effectively
until
a guard
we
unit.
get through
So,
this week
we've
and we
seen,
see what the orc stuff's
units
gonna
like
be.
this before. So
I like
a
that idea.
Adeptus Sororitas power armored unit, but they come with loads and loads of different options. You've got two different choices.
So Storm Shield?
You've also got lots of different options for things like pistols and stuff, and I think this is the squad leader we're looking at right now. And you can see that the shield there is both functional looking in the sense that it's clearly just a whopping great slab of armor, but also incredibly decorative. So you've got loads of space on there, but lots of little details for painters to enjoy. So I think this is going to be a very impressive looking unit on the tabletop. And you've got lots of different options. This is a little bit like their kind of veteran unit. So all
Okay.
sorts of different ways to customize the unit.
Is it gonna be a combat shield? It's gotta be, yeah. It's too small to be a
Choice of
storm
heads in there as
shield.
well, so you can have the kind of cowled, hooded heads that we're looking at right now, or you can have armored heads to match more with the kind of line battle system.
Looks like they rushed the
Yeah,
paint
so, I
job.
mean, my favourite
No,
one
it's
might
just
be
a little
the
grainy
Storm
because
Blade is
the capture
shields
they've
have
got.
that feel that
It looks
they've got, like,
fine.
a sarcophagus style sort of front to them. You could expect to see those on tombs themselves, and then nestled behind the shields are plasma pistols and hand flamers and bolt pistols, and I do like that.
So it's pistol and shield. So it's a melee unit, but it's a little bit more durable than your average sister.
What's next up? And of course, it wouldn't be a full release for the Sisters of Battle without a codex to contain all of this stuff that we've just talked about. And here we have it.
So
in full
sisters are
glory
excited
with
now,
one
I'm
of those
sure.
Celestian Sacrosancts adorning the cover.
Yeah, so it's got everything that you would hope a codex would have in the new edition. I think the fact that there's a codex is going to surprise no one. With so many great new models coming out, but there is.
Like I said, there's going to be some sister stuff because if you look up at the top right, you've got all these different symbols, and the little sister symbol is up there. I forget what that's called. The Fleur de whatever that thing. French, cool looking thing.
There is a huge.
Where my boys at?
So obviously the Adeptus Sororitas love crusading. It's one of their favorite things in the whole world. But there's a whole bunch of extra rules, and you can basically follow your characters through the progression from basic Sisters of Battle heroes all the way through to almost living saint levels. So you can really follow the narrative that you'd expect for a Sister of Battle hero, which is really cool.
I play orcs and chaos, specifically like iron. My fluff is like freebooter or death skull.
And there are also
orcs and word bearer iron warrior kind of chaos
in the same way that we've seen for things like Space Marines in the past. So if you've got a Sisters of Battle army, there is a lot to like in this new book. They already do pretty well on the tabletop, but this gives them a whole bunch of new tools. And I think one of the most exciting things really is that
got
with all
my
the
little
new
dude
units and the
here
new abilities and things
that
like
I kit
you can
bashed
now
very
look forward to
recently.
lots of different types of Sister of Battle
Look at that
armies.
awful
They've
capture.
previously
It's
been
so
either
bright.
infantry
Do
or
I need to
infantry
turn
and
off
tanks and not
lights?
much else. But now you've got the option of having loads of walkers, or you can go really offensive and combat heavy, or you can go
capture's a little bright.
You can still have your line.
Where is that light
you can
that's
go for
causing that
mobile
much trouble?
forces. Loads of different ways to play it, but I think we have
I think
somebody
it's
else
that
I
light
believe
there,
there's
yeah.
a video to tell us even more about it.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, before we jump to that, Raph, I might have catapulted us too far in because there was a thing to do with Charadon that we didn't cover, and I'm going to feel like a putz if we don't cover it. So, alongside the Charadon release, there's going to be a big old scenery kit released alongside.
Tower not in a good place right now, my dude.
You are absolutely right, Adam. There is a new battle field in a box called Charadon, and this effectively is a great way to get hold of all of the Sector Mechanicus stuff that is out there in the world. So
no one cares.
The last battlefield in a box, and this is just a really good way, a really efficient way of putting all those great-looking pieces of scenery on your tabletop.
Yeah, and that's why I was.
It's terrain, and then it's got looks like some of the doggos for AdMech. You got a few plague marine. Okay, I guess we're done looking at that.
Those are really good ways to do it.
How much does a battle zone box go for normally? The bigger boxes like that are going to be like 140 plus 200. But you're supposed to split it with a friend. Like, oh, I'll take the Death Guard stuff, you take the AdMech stuff. Yay! Orthogonal Caster, thank you for the gift sub to Warhammer.
Person, unlike this weird world we're living in at the moment, is that as well as showing some previews, you get to hear directly from the team behind the games, the Warhammer studio team.
I don't do those big boxes like that.
You know, Black, who is the mega boss of the 40k team, so we pinned him down and got him to wax lyrical, and here he is.
Did the Space Wolves one twice? I could see that. That's not a bad box. Double Ragnar is a little weird, but otherwise good.
Battle, also known as the Adeptus Sororitas, are the kind of fighting forces of the Imperial Church.
Who the fuck are you?
Often used as like defenders of shrines, and also lead the kind of great kind of wars of faith and crusades.
We're not hearing about the orcs today. We're hearing about sisters today. We'll hear about orcs on Thursday. That's fine. That's fine. It's not fine on the website.
And from the hobby. So the last book was really about kind of re-establishing them, bringing back a lot of the kind of favorite miniatures from
they're
reimagined and redone.
They used to look really crunchy.
Upon that, and really introducing some new troop types, some new characters, and kind of building on that solid foundation that the 8th edition codex had given us. So one of the centerpiece characters that people will see in this release is Morn Vale.
You notice how they've announced 3 models?
She's like
And
the
2
closest thing they've got
books.
to a Primarch, kind of a
And they're
real
stretching
leader,
that out
and
for
she's
an
the,
hour.
High Abbess of the Sisters of Battle. She actually leads both convents. She's quite new to the role. The previous High Abbess was lost during the Great Rift. And
Sisters really high have 1 troop choice, 1 plastic HQ, and 2 heavy support. Yeah, I mean, they need a range refresh, because a lot of their stuff is
she's turned out to be
crunchy.
a skilled politician as well as a ferocious warrior on the battlefield. So one of the new things is the Paragon War Suits. Morven Vale actually wears one of those. She's got kind of a custom-built golden armored version. And they are like the elite fighting forces of the Sisters of Battle.
They're already all elite fighting forces. You just said that earlier.
Exo armor suits equipped with kind of heavy bolters, multi-melters, missile launchers, really powerful weapons.
If this was about orcs, I'd be like, oh my god, yes. Yes. Keep it up, Stu. Tell me more, Stu. But now, because it's not about my boys, I'm like...
Previously, they've mainly been equipped with kind of bolt guns, your traditional Sister of Battle kind of equipment. This book introduces 2 new types of Celestians, those wearing the Paragon War Suits, and then also the Celestian Sacrosancts, which are kind of close combat specialists. They're equipped with power halberds, shields, spears, and quite often form like elite bodyguards for canonesses and other kind of
Okay, so they're going to have the bodyguard rule.
So one of the things we wanted to do, as I've said, mentioning the kind of 8th edition book is building on that. We've really updated the rules for the 9th edition version of 40k, introduced all of the things that people will be familiar with. So they've got their own secondary objectives. We've really thought about how things interact.
I want secondary objectives.
The codexes we've released so far.
You know how hard it is to pick 3? First 2 are easy. You do like deploy and engage, and maybe you fucked up in your list and you give me stuff, but most of the time you don't. But if we roll something that has like a bad mission secondary, I'm just like, I guess I'll just get fucked.
Miracle dice. We think that's a really cool mechanic. It really represents something unique about the Sisters Battle. That's still there. It's been tweaked and refined, but fundamentally still works in a very similar way. So there's an awful lot of things that will be familiar.
We'll do Resident Evil after this.
As good as they possibly can be for what they're likely to face on the battlefield now that time has moved on since that previous book. So there's 2 really exciting reasons to be looking forward to this release, both from kind of a background point of view, but also from a gaming point of view. Obviously, there's loads of new miniatures and loads of new things that people can add to their army that actually really add to the play style of the Sisters of Battle. Previously, it's been built around that kind of core of those infantry squads with bolt guns and multi-melters. Really, we've kind of added in a lot more close combat troops, and also more kind of powerful individual models in the Paragon War Suits, which really...
Have you seen her?
On the battlefield a little
there
bit.
She is.
From kind of a background point of view, with the introduction of the High Abbess and some of her...
Do you like Sisters?
Characters that we might talk about another
They're
time.
fine armor, our army.
Things to do with the Indomitus Crusade.
I don't... It's not
Sisters
my
of Battle being
aesthetic,
kind of
but
at the
sure.
forefront of that, rather than being defenders.
I
of
feel like
shrine
I've
lords that are really
completely
going out,
fucked up the
taking fight
lighting
to
on
the
this.
chaos.
Let me try...
So one of the other new kits that people will see is the Castigator.
Oh, it's
which is
the-
like the first proper battle tank for the Sisters of Battle.
It's the battle tank again!
The Exorcist, which is that
How many Xenos races have they shown?
missile launching pipe organ come temple, and they've also had the Retributors that can ride around in their immolator tanks. So they've had a couple of armored vehicles. The Castigator is the first time they've had a proper main battle tank, because the big variety of weapons. You've got a kind of twin autocannon turret, and there's also a Castigator battle cannon. So it really gives them a proper battle tank that forms part of their battle line.
If yesterday's preview was any indication, we're gonna get like an hour of this stream.
Online show. Thanks to Stu for providing that insight into the new Sisters Battle and some of the things that have gone on behind there. I think at this point it's probably worth just
Imagine being a
we're on day
Twitch sub to
of,
GW.
Warhammer Fest online. There's still 4 more days to go, and including another day entirely devoted to
Imagine
gameplay.
paying
So,
$5
we've got a
to
lot
chat
coming
with
up
these
over
guys
the-
where they ignore the chat.
Something else I think that's worth mentioning.
It's like, you already get enough of my money, G-dubs. Calm the fuck down. Calm your tittles.
In this preview, because we've already covered those in previous shows, and so we thought we'd let that stand. Is that fair to say, Eddie?
Yeah, I think if you've been looking forward to the Adeptus Mechanicus, I think it's no secret that they are not released.
They have
soon as we'd like
emotes,
to.
sure, but I
so
mean,
if you are patiently waiting
could
there
just
with your Bionic service
make your
slots,
own.
waiting on your codex, you won't have to wait too much longer. There isn't any Adeptus Mechanicus in Warhammer Fest this year, but that is because they are so close, so close.
Yeah,
that,
they're supposed to be
there's
out
not
by
much more
now.
to tell you about them other than to put them into your hands when they're released.
So prepare for your rites of activation soon. Right, so that about wraps up the show for today. I think it's worth a quick summary of all the things that we've seen, because I, for one, am blown away by it. We've
Guys!
a glimpse of the
High Lord of Terror!
Paragon Act 2 book, which looks really exciting and continues the ongoing narrative of Warhammer 40,000.
They're going to show the models again.
Proper awesome looking scenery to base your games around. A whole suite of Sisters of Battle miniatures, including Morven Baal, the Abbess,
High Abbess
of the Adeptus Sororitas, a High Lord of Terror who will stride onto the battlefields near you very soon. Somebody in the chat did rightly point out the other.
Holy shit! You just released it at the end? We didn't get to see this the whole fucking stream!
Right?
I think that's correct. I keep
Holy fuck! Look at
or
this!
advisors.
Guys,
If the
why
chat
didn't they
thinks
announce
it's
this
better,
during the
please
stream? They're waiting until now at the very end to show it to
We've
us?
also seen
Holy
a whole
fuck,
bunch of
guys!
other Sisters of Battle models, but the show stealers for me, I think, were the Celestian Sacrosancts with their awesome gun shield combos, and I can't wait to have those fighting in a phalanx around the leaders of Sister Battle armies everywhere. Right, what remains for this show then? I guess we need to thank everybody who's turned up. Last time I looked, let me glimpse in, 39,900 people have decided to spend some time with us today. Thank you all, wherever you are in the world. It is just awesome to have you coming and sharing a bit of our enthusiasm for Warhammer Fest. Normally, a Warhammer Fest show like this would be done in front of a room of about 200 people, and it'd be like Eddie and myself and a couple of guys from the Warhammer studio. So the chance to...
They split 40K into 2 days because it was too much. They had too much to show off. They had that much shit to show off.
Just wonderful. So thank you, everyone. Thank you to the moderating team who've done such a lovely job helping the chat to flow smoothly. Thank you to Raf, the power behind the scenes, who's made everything work. And Eddie, thank you for being the font of wisdom as we've gone through
Always
these
a
things.
pleasure, Adam. Always a pleasure.
I should remind you that we're doing this again each day this week up to and including Saturday. So tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow's Black Library Day, is that right?
That is absolutely correct. There's some cool stuff in there for Warhammer 40,000 fans. If you like Black Library, then do please tune in.
It's going to be
100%.
books.
That was
They're going to be good books. I'll wait until they're
audio
audiobooks and listen to them
If you
then.
want to see, I don't know, maybe some miniatures that are connected in some way to a book that you like.
I think all the
Just
new orc
pop
stuff's
along
going to be on
tomorrow.
Thursday.
I promise it won't be a waste of your time. And then we've got...
It was, though!
Stuff on Thursday, more Warhammer 40,000 on Friday, and then something else on Saturday. All right. It's been wonderful. Thank you for your time. We will see you again tomorrow. But for now, I'm Adam Troke. This was Eddie Eccles, and we'll see you tomorrow for Warhammer Fest 2021 Online Day 3.
No, the orc trailer wasn't even part of this. The orc trailer was not even in this one. It was Warzone Charadon, fucking Sisters. That was it. I showed you guys the Beast Nagus thing. That was from like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Was this even moderated? So many entitled whiners in chat. How much are these boxes again? How much is that? Because that's American dollars. Like, listen, I love this game. The models are great. They're the best like miniatures out there right now. But I'm gonna just say it. Padding like this is just a little insulting, to be honest with you. What? Like great minis and not, but this was not enough time for, or I guess they're saying you didn't need to. Yeah, seriously. You know, if you crammed the whole weekend into 1 or 2 evenings, you would have blown people's minds instead of leaving people like going, "Is that it?" every night. Yeah, these are like people who are even harder core fanboys than me, who paid to be able to say this in chat. As a Sisters of Battle player, I don't want this. These are people who are simping harder for Warhammer than I am. Okay, hold up. Warhammer. I just want to show you guys this real quick. High Lord, guys. 2021. Images. I just. Move myself to the side a little bit. All right, so the first half of the show today was like, remember yesterday when we talked about Sigmar? Now it's today. Remember to show up tomorrow. Warhammer 40K again. Seriously, we have a lot. See, that's the bit that I wanted to show you guys. Like, what is that sentence? What is that sentence doing here? What is this sentence right here? Here's what's gonna happen. Like, tomorrow's gonna be books, sure. Box games, there could actually be stuff on the box games day that I care about, but it's probably gonna be Necromunda. And I don't play Necromunda yet, and I'm interested in the world just for the sake of like that new game is coming out, Hired Gun, which is made by the people who did I Divine Cybermancy. I got done playing that. That's gonna be good, but I don't know much about Necromunda, so I don't know the plot. So we'll. Based on the fact that they talked about like the Sigmar stuff for like half an hour, or like 10 minutes, we're going to get whatever they talked about. They're going to pad the shit out of Friday with whatever actually we might care about. And if there is anything I care about, I'm going to hear about it through just the community page. Like, because you could just go to the community page and get this. Where is it? Whatever. Yeah. So here's the Sigmar stuff. If you missed it, so you can watch all the videos that they showed off, and you got whatever this is, and then it shows his stats, and then you got these dudes, and you got sort of orcs, but they're not new models, so whatever. Vampire lady. A vampire guy, vampire stuff, vampire wolf riding dude, zombie werewolves, sure. I'm gonna definitely stream Hired Gun. But Tau is a treat. We're not in like the 90s anymore. We don't care about anime. So you don't get your anime models. So I mean, like for Sigmar people, this is cool, and it was about as much content. Let's be real. Dire Wolves, this guy. Actually, this is a lot of, in comparison to today. Like, actually, look at that. What the fuck with that model? That's wild. Look at that shit. That's her. It's like where her legs start. She's like a bat-tar. Yeah, like a centaur, but with bats. That's a cool-looking model. That's a lot of fresh new releases. And whatever these are. This guy. This one I think they announced a little while ago. The new not Keepers of Secrets. For you Slanesh people out there. And then you got whatever the fuck that is, and these guys, and then the lizard people. It's got a little bit of like stat stuff. So maybe we get some stat stuff on the sisters today. Not yet though. Yeah, no. Sigmar just doesn't scratch the right itch for me. I like the big guns. I mean, it's the reason that I like playing Death Skulls, because I like having my big tank, my big model that I just plonk down on the table and I go, that's the bullshit you got to deal with today. You know? I don't know. Whatever. So based on the banners that they've got, if we look at the Warhammer Fest online banners, if we look up at the top, this is the vampire one, right? I'm pretty sure. This symbol, I don't know much about. I'm taking guesses. This one and then these are, I don't know, what, blah, blah, blah. These are the good guys, the Space Marine characters from Sigmar, I'm pretty sure. Orcs, something Sigmar. Necromunda, maybe something. So you got your sisters, and you got the orcs. So I think orcs are going to be Thursday. They weren't today. That's okay. I'm used to having my feeling hurt by you, GW. I'm used to Do you remember Orktober, G-dubs? Do you remember when that was a thing? When you hyped it up and then you gave us a couple new models. That was nice. I noticed you missed it last year, G-dubs. Can we have it this year? Like, don't wait and put the codex out that far from now, but can we have nice things too? Us Xenos players? I know the answers. I know the answer to that already. I know better than this, but can we have nice things too? Okay. Well, this gives off, yeah. Last year's year of Luigi was definitely what it felt like. You can have another Ultramarine Primaris Lieutenant. Yeah. Guys, like, they're in on the joke now. Drukhari have a great army right now. Like, they're counter meta, but they are the meta. Like, I think you need to, you need to start bringing your autocannons. Start bringing autocannons, strength 6, AP something, damage 1. In high amounts, that'll do great. You'll be fine. Destroy the raiders before they get up the field. Don't let them get into combat with you. Stay on, like, 2 or 3 points and don't try and push out for more. They're going to take the board. You can't. It's fine. What if they bring 8 raiders? You need to kill as many of them as you can so that way they can't get up the field. That's the trick. Easier said than done, for sure. But that's their thing, is that if they can't move because you've killed all their stuff, especially like T8 models, like I said, my list right now is really accidentally counter Drukhari. They have a really hard time dealing with 4 T8 models, because I've got my War Boss and War Bike. But they just don't have a good answer to that, and they sometimes kill one because they got like 6 raiders hitting on 4s rerolling, so about half go through and then half go to wound. So what is that, like 1.5 times? It's a little better than that, but I mean, like, generally, like, they have a hard time dealing with it. And if I get a chance to slap back, like, I'm gonna delete at least 2 of those raiders a turn. It's just how fast can I do it? Anyway, let me go to the bathroom, have a quick snack, and then come back, and then we're gonna do some like Resident Evil 7. Sound good? Cool. Chat's over here, by the way. Frying chicken for a snack? Yeah. Time to rejoin the family, son. Yeah. These videos, by the way, because I'm trying to get these all out in order, but I want people to still be able to watch all of Resident Evil before the new Resident Evil comes out. I'm going to probably release these the same day as other videos. And just, if people like them, they like them. If they don't, they don't. Let me know, obviously, in the comments if you like this kind of shit. I mean, obviously, today I was a whiny little bitch. Because it wasn't my boys. It was ladies. I want my boys. Where my boys at? I mean, yeah, this stream was me whining. If you enjoyed it, let me know. Okay. Anyway, I'll see you guys in just a minute. Be right back.